Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, Hyper Light Breaker has received a major patch, and you know what that means. Time to put the Steam Deck through its paces again. The developers promise better performance, more settings, and a smoother experience overall. So is it finally playable, or are we still stuck in low FPS limbo? Let's find out. Now first, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, the game now can hit 40 or even 50 FPS on the lowest settings, but to do that, you need to crank the screen resolution down to 50%. And well, it's blurry enough to make you question your own vision. It's like trying to play Hyper Light Breaker through a frosted window. The good news, you don't have to suffer through that level of blur. I found that setting the screen resolution to 70 or 80% gives you the best results. Now at 70% you can still hit 40 FPS while keeping the visuals clear enough to remind you that this is actually a game and not a painting. Now here's the key to making Hyper Light Breaker playable: shadows. It seems that this setting is the one that breaks everything. You've turned into the lowest setting that is non-negotiable. Now, shadows are FPS kryptonite, but the good news, you can max out almost everything else like foliage distance, prop detail, ambient occlusion, and film effects. So the game can still look somewhat okay while staying smooth. Now that said, even with everything on the lowest settings and the resolution at 50% and you reaching 50 FPS while traveling around, heavy combat can still drag the game down to 30 FPS. But the stuttering from before is significantly reduced, so it's a lot more playable overall. Now in terms of battery life, depending on your settings, the game will work between 2 hours and 30 minutes and 3 hours on the OLED model. However, if you did what I did, locking the FPS to 30, setting the resolution to 70%, max everything else except shadows, you not only get more stable experience but also stretch the battery life to around 3 hours and 30 minutes. So that's a pretty big win in my book. Before we move on with the video, here's something shocking even the developers couldn't fix, and that is that only 2.4% of you watching this are subscribed. That's, well, let's just say that's worse than Hyper Light Breaker's pre-patch FPS. Don't be like those unoptimized settings, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and help me bump that number up. So, is Hyper Light Breaker finally playable on the Steam Deck? The answer is mostly. With the right settings, you can enjoy a much smoother experience, though it still struggles in intense combat. For me, the sweet spot, as I said, is 70% resolution, everything else max except shadows, locked at 30 FPS. It's stable, it looks good, and it won't drain your battery in under 2 hours. If you're still on the fence, now is a good time to jump back in, try it for yourself. By the way, if you purchase Hyper Light Breaker, you also get Hyper Light Drifter for free. And the devs have made huge strides, and it's a lot closer to the game we all hoped it would be. And who knows, maybe they'll patch in even more improvements soon. Until then, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, press that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.